Life isn't always fair, and it might be tempting to wait for things to change on their own. But this is the truth. Waiting, wishing, and procrastinating won't get you where you want and won't get you through tough times. If you feel stuck in a challenge, situation, or even your own thoughts, the only way to get out of it is through, because you call the shots in your life. And in this episode, I will be sharing 10 mindset shifts that have helped me to get out of this situation, and hopefully it's going to help you. Hi guys, it's Princess. Welcome back to Inspire That podcast. And in this podcast, I realized that I haven't done an intro of what this podcast really even is. But I guess this podcast is just me sharing everything that I've learned in my self-help journey, and also hoping it's going to help you guys as well. So if you're interested in self-help or anything of that sort, this is the perfect place for you. There are many times in life where I felt stuck because the situations are truly out of my control. There are things where I've just been thrown into certain situations and I'm well, I never planned for this, so I don't know, I don't have the skill set to get myself out of this situation. So definitely my default was just to remove my hands, even though that is not a bad state to be in, but my default state was just to let it go, forget about it, and just the same way I got myself in this situation, which was just basically thrown into it, I would be okay, I'm going to just be thrown out of it, hopefully one way or the other something good is going to happen. But anyways, like I said, stopping, wishing, procrastinating is not going to get you where you want to be. And the thing about life is that we are responsible for our lives, even though we're not responsible for the things that happen to us, because obviously there's uncertainty and all those things, but we are responsible for getting ourselves out of every sticky situation, because it's our life and we have to live it to the fullest. So I will share 10 things that have helped me, 10 mindset shifts that have helped me, because I have been in sticky situations many times. So the first thing I ever have to tell myself is to stop victimizing myself, because that's my default, honestly. Who doesn't love to be the victim? Yes, I don't know how I got myself in this situation. I'm going to cry. I'm going to forget all my goals. I'm going to just sit in bed, lay in bed, just watch movies, because I'm such in a tough situation. So I'm the victim and everybody should give me grace. While that might be true, yeah, you need grace. You need some time. You need to just take a break and all those things. But being the victim will never get you out of a sticky situation. Take responsibility of where you are and the place that you're in, even if you didn't bring yourself there. Because what will blaming others help? What will blaming others do? Blaming others would never push you in the direction that you need to be. So for your own sake, for your own good, you need to take responsibility. I'm not saying you should blame yourself, this is my fault, I'm in this situation. No, don't blame yourself, but tell yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, I am responsible for getting myself out of this situation, because I got me, and obviously you got your friends, but at the end of the day you got yourself the best. So you can't keep blaming, okay, it's because of what that person did, or it's because of the economy that I'm in this situation. That might be true. Well, that's that, everybody knows. It's make something else the truth. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody knows life is unfair. Everybody knows that things happen and you're just in this situation where you did not plan for. So tell yourself, be responsible. I like to tell myself that I'm so responsible. I'm responsible. Even though that might lean into being toxic, but when you tell yourself, I will always figure it out, it's already a huge step, because okay, yes, I didn't bring myself in this, but I'm going to take myself out of this. And always shift your mindset to why is this happening to me, to what can I learn from this? Because life is a lesson. Every single day we're learning new things, and I think that's just the beauty of growth, honestly. Because if we're just in the same place, the same situation, we would never grow. Where are we going to learn the skills to take on more things? Because I realized the other time that all those bad things that have happened, all those sticky situations that have happened, those are the times where we were provided with the best moment of growth. Those are the pivoting times. If you think of any sticky situation and then you didn't know how to get out of it, and now as you're watching this video, you have successfully crossed that, that was the time where everything about you was tested. Your patience, your trust for life, your joy, your happiness, everything was tested, and you came out of it better. So there's always something to learn from if you're feeling stuck right now. So when you shift your perspective, everything starts to look beautiful once again, because it's like, oh, okay, you can be looking at a bad situation in a certain aspect. You might be facing a rejection and you might be looking at it like, oh, this is like the worst, blah, blah, blah. You can be blaming yourself, oh, I wish I had prepared more and everything. But this rejection could actually be a redirection to something you're more passionate about, or to something that is even more better and sits on the other end. So if you just keep blaming yourself, keep focusing on the fact that you got rejected, and I know it's sad to get rejected, don't get me wrong, but if you keep focusing on that, what's going to be the outcome of your life? What's going to be tomorrow? What's going to be even next week? Like, so just shifting your perspective and seeing every sticky situation as opportunities for growth is going to be your superpower, basically, because you're just growing and learning, and you will be better equipped to face more difficult situations. And the next is to empower yourself by focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't do. Like when you're in a sticky situation, don't sit and wish, oh my god, but if I could do this, or if I had enough resources to be able to do this, but if I was born in this place, or it could have been so easier if I looked like this, or if I had this type of people around me. Yes, that's true. Yes, all those things are true. But how would you feel empowered? Like, all those things are not true though. Like, they are not true. So you need to focus on what is true. You need to focus on what you can achieve, what you can do. Because there are 1,000,001 things that we can't do. There are literally 1,000,001 things that are out of our control. But there are still a lot of things that are in our control. And it's left for us to figure out what is in our control and then do those things. And if you keep focusing on the things that others have done to you that put you in this situation, that's also not going to help you. What helps you is you actually taking action, figuring out what you can do, and just showing up for yourself and doing it. The second thing is to have confidence in your ability. I spoke about this in my last episode, delusional confidence, where it's like you just have to be you just have to believe in yourself. Like, that is so delusional. There might be no proof yet. Yet is the keyword. There might be no proof yet, but you just believe in yourself, and that's such a beautiful thing. Like, because sometimes, honestly, I forget to believe in myself. Sometimes I forget that I can actually do this. I just feel, it may happen, it may not happen, and that's not like the energy I want to be bringing into my life and be bringing into my day. And that's not the energy we should be bringing into our life and bringing into our day. The energy we should bring is definitely, I can do this, I will be able to do it. Okay, I don't know how to do it right now, but definitely I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. And the beautiful thing about confidence is that it grows in action. When you haven't taken any step at all and you're just thinking about it, you actually get less confident over time, because your brain is starting to be like, why is she wasting a lot of time to do this? Is something wrong? Like, is she not capable? And then you start to think yourself, but wait, why am I actually wasting so much time? And then it just leads to like you spiraling and everything, because procrastination is actually a form of fear. Like, what are you so scared of? And that fear just eats deep into how confident you're feeling in that situation. So why confidence grows in time is because when you take that first step, you realize, that wasn't even so bad after all. That gives you like energy, or makes you more confident to take the next step. And you take 2 steps and you're like, oh, let's double it. And then you just keep going, and then you keep going. And even on those days where you don't feel like your best or your most confident self, you can always look back at the times where you were just killing it and just taking more steps. And that just helps you to even take more. And a very, very personal example for me is this podcast, because I was really like skeptical about coming on video, because video is like a really big deal. And what made me more confident in making that first video and just pretending like the camera isn't here is because I had done a lot of videos. I had done a lot of audios. So I was like, Prince, I just pretend like the camera isn't there, because like no one is here right now, and it's just this thing like looking at me. And it's not that much of a big difference when it comes, because it could be anything. I could just like pretend like it's not here and just keep speaking and whatever. So that gave me the confidence. If I didn't do those other audios, I would have to push myself more to like show up on this video. Like, if this video was the first ever thing, it wouldn't be as easy, or I feel like it wouldn't be as easy for me, because I had the audio to say, Princess, you can do this, just pretend like the camera isn't there. And that was all it took for me to just mount my camera and start recording. So just start to take some bold steps, even if you don't feel ready. No matter like ready, like that state of being ready is kind of it's so vague, honestly, because it's not as if you know what is ahead that you're like, okay, I want to feel ready. Nobody knows what's ahead. Just say, okay, you know what, this is what I want to have, and I'm just going to start now, because now is the best time. Now is like the best time you will ever have, because whenever this young again, the age you are at this minute, at this second, in fact, is the youngest that you will ever be. So why are you wasting time? Why are you putting things off for so long? Like, there's no reason. And if you're not confident about this, that first step is what's going to push you into being confident about it. And you're still struggling with like confidence, go watch like the video of last week where I really gave my 2 cents on what I know about being confident and like my new found energy in life, because I just want to not just be confident, but just be so delusionally confident that it doesn't even make sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me because I know who I am. And surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with friends and families that actually make you feel more confident instead of things that put you down. Accept that you don't have to be perfect at the beginning, because perfection is just what makes us procrastinate and what makes us not feel confident enough, because we're chasing something that we don't even know what it feels like. We're chasing something that isn't even there, because we might be doing something and we'll feel, okay, this is not even good enough. But when we show it to an outsider, when we show it to one of our friends are like, wow, this is so good. So why are you chasing perfection when it kind of doesn't even exist? So accept where you are. Accept that, okay, this is not the best, because even we should have where we should be. We should always want to become better at everything, but where you are now is completely fine, and you should just start from building up from there instead of waiting to get to a certain point and then start building up. Because how would we? Because we're here right now, which is not where we want to be, and you're not confident enough to move to the next step, but you definitely want to move to that next step. How? You have to push yourself and just move to that next step, and then continue going to like reach where, like however big you want to go. And the third step is to get rid of self-doubt, because self-doubt it's a really useless emotion. Identify the negative stories that you've told yourself that is making you just doubt yourself. Because when you think about your goals, if your first mindset or your first thought is that's so unattainable, you need to figure out where this idea is coming from, because you were not born with those ideas in your mind. It was fed to you in one way or the other. You kind of like synced it into your brain. If you're thinking about your goals, something that many other people have achieved and millions of other people have even achieved something bigger. Like when I just think about it, I'm like, wait. This is my goal. Millions of people have achieved this. And even many more people have achieved something even bigger than that. So why do I feel like I can't achieve this? Like, what is so wrong with me that I feel I can't achieve it? Or what is so perfect and right with the millions of other people that I feel, okay, yeah, they deserve it, or yeah, they can get this, or it's possible for them because of what reason? I don't know if that makes sense. But just try to think to yourself, why am I feeling like I can't achieve this when it's not as if it's something new to it? A lot of people have done this before. Millions of people are still doing it today. So definitely you can do this. And I like to think about it because it actually makes me realize these people that are achieving all these things are just like me. They also had to put in the work. They also had to get through some like hurdles. They had to be resilient. And those are all the things that I'm going to be as well. So you know what? Putting this and this together, easy. I'm going to achieve it as well. And that's all you need to know, basically. And catch yourself whenever you procrastinate. And I mean catch yourself, because you may not even realize that you're procrastinating. You may just be telling yourself, okay, like, I'm tired, like, today is not the perfect day. I want to be in that, mood. I want to be in that energy. But what is even the mood and the energy? So whenever you procrastinate, ask yourself, am I afraid of something? Am I putting this off because I'm scared it's going to be so difficult, or I'm scared it's going to be impossible for me to do? I was putting off something this week, and it's because I'm actually scared that it's going to be too difficult. Like, I feel it's just going to, like, I'm just so scared that it's going to be too difficult for me. And I'm recording this podcast now, and I'm thinking, like, you know what, immediately I drop this mic, that's just what I'm going to do. Because why am I scared of something that I don't even, like, I haven't even started yet, but I'm scared that it's going to be so difficult. I need to realize my full potential. We need to realize our full potential and know that, okay, yes, it may be difficult, but that's not the end of the world. It may be difficult, but at the end of the day, we want to get better at this thing. How are we going to get better at this thing if we don't face this challenge or face this difficulty and try to get over this challenge? Because when we get over this challenge, that is when we will truly know, okay, you know what, we're actually getting better. We're actually getting more skilled. We're getting where we need to be, where we want to be. We're getting to our desired goal. Is by getting over these challenges. Because if I put this thing off forever, I would look back and be like, you know, I never even like tried, you know, I never even went for what I wanted to go for because I felt it's so difficult. And then you would look back kind of living in regrets, like, oh, why did I just put that off when I shouldn't have? Because going through that difficulty, going over that difficulty and figuring it out is part of the process. Is what we would tell ourselves that, yes, this is what I can hold on to know that I'm getting better, to know that I'm improving in this aspect. Always set realistic expectations for yourself, even though I've been rambling on about being delusional and everything. But always set, especially at the beginning, don't say, okay, today I'm going to just, from A, I'm just going to go to Z. Like, no, like, take steps and also fall in love with the process. Because if we're so focused on the end goal, if we're so focused on what we want at the end, the process might feel so boring. And when the process is boring, we just have a boring life and we just don't even want to continue with what we're doing because the process is just so boring. So fall in love with the process and celebrate every single win. Okay, today you were able to get up at 7 a.m., which is what you've been trying to do. That's really good because you did this today. You're happy with yourself. Tomorrow you can also do it to be even more at peace. Be compassionate with yourself. Accept that growth, learning, and forming a routine is going to take time. And that is just what you need to give. Just accept that it's going to take time. And don't give up when you haven't figured it out yet. Because all these things takes time. Know, like, the person that you're inspired by or the person that you admire so much wasn't like built in a day. It's years of like self-discipline, consistency, you know, like affirmations, manifesting, and all this self-help, everything that includes in the self-help book. Like, nobody was just born that way. Everybody had to take a bet on themselves and try to improve. And treat yourself like you would treat a friend in that situation. If your friend was stuck in a situation, would you like start ridiculing them, or would you just how would you treat your friend in that situation? Would you blame them? Would you say, oh well, but you could have done this, it's because you didn't do that, you know, when I was telling you to do this, you didn't do it? Like, if that's how you would treat your friend, then you shouldn't be friends with anybody, like, at all. So treat yourself with that same love and compassion you would give to your friend, and just give yourself that energy, because you would always uplift your friend. You always try and motivate them. You always try and push them in the right direction. So also do that for yourself. When you're in a sticky, stuck situation, don't say, this is my fault. Oh, if I didn't do this, if I had just done that instead, I was feeling like doing this, but I didn't do that. Like, that helps nobody. That helps nobody in any single way. And the fifth one is to stop waiting and procrastinating. Because like I said, it is a form of fear, and you're just wasting time. You're just wasting time, and you would look back and regret all those time that you have wasted. Treat action like a muscle. Yes, making that first step is so hard, but it's a muscle. The more you use it, the easier like it becomes. So definitely when you're going to your first workout, it's really difficult, but very soon you start building the endurance and you get used to it. So that's the same thing with action. Recording my first, and even though like this is my third video, but recording the first one was way more difficult than recording this one. As time goes on, it's definitely going to get easier. And waiting feeds fear, because in that waiting period, our mind is still fixed on it. It's not like our mind is not fixed on it. We're still thinking about it. We're still having it at the back of our mind, but we're not making any action. We're not taking any step in order to get to where we want to be. So in this waiting period, our mind is just building in fear. Our mind is spiraling into different thoughts like, what is this? What's going on? And the best way to just stop waiting and procrastinating is just to break down the big thing that you have to do and start from the smallest space. Start from the smallest possible place you can start from. It doesn't have to be perfect all round. Just start from the smallest space, and as time goes on, you would get to that level where you're satisfied with. And the next one is to stop wishing and just let go of expectations. Kind of embrace uncertainty. because life is really certain. The only thing that's certain about life is uncertainty, which is crazy to think of, because I was always the person that had like, oh, I would always write 5-year goals, I will always write 3-year goals, I will also write my 1-year goal, and I will also write my 6-month goal down to my 3-month goal. Like I was that child that, always over planned everything, always wanted to be in this place at a certain time, and this is how I'm going to look like, this is how I'm going to be when I'm this age. Like I was so obsessed with growing up when I was a child. I'm like, oh my god, when I'm 20, these are the things I'm going to be doing. And it's not bad, but there are times where, that's just not what we're meant to do in life, and we just have to accept it. Okay, yeah, you wanted to do this when you were a child, or when you were younger, you were so passionate about doing this thing, but God has better plans for your life, honestly, and you should just fall into that and follow into that, instead of following your own, which you might not even know if that's what you truly, truly want in life. Wishing for things creates false hope, like just sitting down and wishing and imagining and visualizing, like, if this was mine, life would be so good. Yeah, life would be so good, but if you keep wishing, it's just creating false hope. Like it's just giving you that energy, but you're not taking action on that energy. So it's just wasted energy, just wasted time imagining. So stop wishing for a second and just start doing. And when we're in a sticky situation, sometimes we just have to think, what do I really want for myself? So get a pen and paper and kind of like remove all external expectations and external influence of what everybody else wants for you, and kind of be like, what do I want for myself? Because there are times where I'm glad I'm in a sticky situation, because where I was heading isn't really where I wanted to be. Okay, but now what do I even want? Because every time I'm so bombarded by what everyone else is doing, and I'm just watching other people's life, from social media. I'm spending so many hours there, and I'm just watching other people's life, seeing what everyone else is doing, and it's kind of like get in my brain, and then I feel like, okay, I should be doing what everybody else is doing, but that doesn't bring me happiness and satisfaction that I want. So kind of remove external expectations and external influence, and be like, what do you want? What are your true interests? Even if no one else was doing this, what would you like to be doing with yourself? Even if no one sees this as the best possible step to take in your life, what would you take for yourself? Figuring that out will help you to get out of that sticky situation, because sometimes we're feeling stuck because these are our options, and those options is what everybody else wants. We've not consulted with our highest, truest self. And the next step, which is my favorite, tell yourself that you have the power to turn your dream into your reality, because a lot of people have done it, and you can also do it. Like I just realized, actually thousands of people have achieved the goals that I want to achieve. So it's not like so foreign, or it's not so like crazy. And even if you're reaching for something really, 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 like, okay, you don't know anyone that has achieved it, that should even give you more energy. Like, okay, I'm going to be the first at this or whatever. And you have the power, because it is your life. You call the shots. When you start realizing, wait, this is actually my life. I get to choose the steps I take each day. I get to choose what I'm doing with my time. I get to choose with how I spend my time, how I spend my resources. Then you realize, wait, I actually call the shots. Because sometimes we feel we don't call the shots. We feel, okay, if I do this, this person is going to judge me. Yes, they will judge you, but also, and you call the shots. If you keep waiting on the external, like you want their validation, you want them to tell you, yes, go do this, yes, go do that, you're going to waste so much time, and you're not going to live your life to the fullest. Always visualize your dream in detail. Visualize what you want for yourself in detail, because this sets you in the right mood. This shows you that this is actually possible, because when you don't even take a second to visualize, this thing is just like vague in your mind, and you don't even know what can actually push you in that direction. So try and visualize, like, how is my life going to look like when I have achieved this, or how is my life supposed to look like in order for me to achieve this? What are the steps that I need to take, and all those things that would make you feel like, okay, this is even that hard. As I've broken it down easily like this, it's actually easy. I see myself doing all these things, and it's going to be possible, hopefully, by God's grace. And by always imagining your success, your brain gets rewired. Your brain starts to see all these things, and it's possible. Because when your brain doesn't say anything, your brain doesn't want to act in that direction. So you want to rewire your brain to believe in your abilities. And visualization, the best thing about that is that it can reduce stress, because there are times where we are so stressed about, we don't even know what we want for ourselves. We're so stressed that we don't even know where we are going. We just don't even know anything, but we know some parts of it. Like, we just have concepts of what we want for ourselves, but we don't even know this in detail. So visualizing what you want, it gives you that mental clarity of like, okay, you know this is where you want to be, and it just reduces your stress, because okay, yes, I know this is where I want to be, I know this aspect, and these are the steps I'm going to take to get there. Okay, that's fine. That goes a long way. But when we don't even see what we want, but we know we want this, but we can't really visualize it, we can't paint a picture around it yet. It's so vague. Like, what are the steps we need to take? Nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. So visualizing really, really helps. And the next one, which I almost didn't stop shutting up about, is to remain resilient. Because I know I got myself I didn't get myself, but I got out of a sticky situation with the help of God and my parents. And I just couldn't shut up about being resilient on the podcast. I was just all about, you know what, you just have to be resilient, you just have to keep going. Because at that moment, I really appreciated that I kept on going. Because even though I had like God and my parents on my side, I still had a role to play in my own life. I still had some steps to take to ensure or to make sure that I was where I was. Because you know what, your parents can only do so much. God would help you, but if you choose to resist that help, if you choose not to accept this help that you're receiving from God, how are you even going to like get anything? Because it's like, okay, you want to get good grades at school, but then you're not studying. Yes, God is going to help you because God is good, but how? Like, how would this help come your way when you don't even want to play your part? So that's just it. Always play your part in any situation that you're in. Trust that setbacks are normal, and it doesn't mean that you have failed, because it's all part of the journey. I saw a quote that was like, if you're in a sticky situation, just keep going, because you connect the dots looking back. You would never like connect the dots or try to understand it looking forward. So this is you right now and you don't understand anything. You can't just sit in that position. You have to keep going, and then just keep going. At a certain point, you will be able to look back and understand why everything had to play out in the way that it played out. Focus on your why, because having that why, knowing why you're doing all this that you're doing, it keeps you motivated. That's why you should also remove external expectations and external influence from your goals, from the things that you want to achieve. Because if everything that you want to do in life is because this person is doing it, or because this person told me to do it, or because this is what everybody's doing, when the going gets tough, when things get tough, you would easily give up because it wasn't even what you wanted to do anyways. But when you have a strong reason behind why you're choosing to do this, why you're showing up for yourself, it will be so much easier, but not the easiest, but it will be so much easier to show up for yourself and to just be resilient. And the next step is just to let go. And when I say let go, I kind of put it as let go of the future, even though that's not the best way to word it. But when I say let go of the future, it's like let go of where you feel you should have been. Let go of the things that you imagined yourself achieving at this specific time, because life is uncertain and we should just embrace that uncertainty. Because if we keep holding on to, oh, I wish this had happened, but it didn't, and that has passed, right? That has passed. This is a new day. Time to make new goals, time to make new intentions, time to set new whys, time to chase different things about passion and everything. So just let go of the expectations you had for yourself, but create new ones. Like, we should always expect the best and something good out of ourselves, but just keep looking forward. Don't, like, looking back has never helped anybody. Let go of your past mistakes. You keep wondering why you did that. You keep beating yourself over about why you made those wrong decisions, would not push you forward, would not push you where you need to be. And all that, it just weighs you down and even creates more fear in you, because you're not afraid of making more decisions. You're afraid of taking action because you feel like, you know what, no matter what I do, I'm going to end up in the wrong situation anyways. So what is the point of me even doing that? So stop thinking about your past mistakes. The past is in the past, and maybe those mistakes had to happen in order for you to learn and in order for you to grow. So just keep going, because the only way out is through, honestly. And the last, and also one of my favorites, is to remind yourself of the past things that you have overcome. I know that this is just going to be one of those things that you are going to overcome. Remind yourself that those challenges, those sticky situations is what give you an opportunity for growth, is what give you an opportunity to be who you are today. So this current situation is also going to give you even more growth, even more wisdom, provide you with the skills to make better decisions for yourself. But that's why sometimes we feel, okay, older people are well more equipped to do certain things. It's because of experience, it's because of life, and that experience is not just good experience, it's also the bad and sticky ones. So remind yourself that this too shall pass, and this is just a huge mindset shift, because nothing lasts forever. Like nothing lasts forever, everything is changing. Each one of these steps is something that you can take no matter what aspects of life you're in, no matter where you are in life. And definitely it's not easy, but the only way out is true. So just pick like one step that really resonated with you. You don't have to do the whole thing, but just pick one step that really resonated with you. Make that mindset shift and just see how things are going to change. See how your perspective towards that situation is just going to change. And never forget that the power to change your life is in your hands. You call the shots. You get to choose how you spend your time. You get to choose how you spend your resources. So if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone and comment down below what mindset shift you're going to take next into the new week. So hopefully we just keep growing, just one step at a time. And I really appreciate you if you stayed up until the end. See you next week.